What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? How are you doing? This is Shibu Immanuel. You are watching Essentially Sports, and we bring to you exclusive content of your favorite athletes. A world of fresh sports content awaits in one click away. And if you haven't checked us out already, you are missing something out. I'm your host for today. My name is Shibu Immanuel, and I bring to you the one and only one atomweight kickboxing world champion, one atomweight interim Muay Thai champion, a pioneer in bringing American Muay Thai onto the global stage, the pride of California. It's my honor to welcome Janet Todd. Janet, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for coming.
What an introduction.
Thank
Jeez.
you. Did you like it?
Yeah, you made it sound so cool.
Thank you. How are you doing? How has your day been?
Good. Busy day, and also very gloomy and rainy over here in California, which is really
Um,
rare.
We are 2 weeks away from the final
Mhm.
showdown, March 24th. You are locking horns with Allycia Rodrigues. It's a big day. How are you feeling?
I feel good. I feel this is the time that I start feeling really good because things are coming together, and then we start tapering and letting my body rest. And yeah, I'm ready. It's
That's
been a
good.
long time coming.
Yeah, it's a highly anticipated matchup. A lot of things happened in the past 2 years. Allycia Rodrigues won the title back in August 2020, and she's been on a brief hiatus. Do you think she is going to be a challenging opponent for you?
Yeah, I mean, just because people know that she had a baby during that time. It wasn't like she just took off for 2 years.
Right.
Um, but I mean, she's been training and fighting for a long time, and that stuff just doesn't disappear. You know, when you have a baby, and she's been training too. It's not like she had a baby and stopped the whole time.
Right.
Um, she has some of that technique ingrained in her, so I expect the best out of her.
And you've been pretty active. You had a recent fight back in July against Lara Fernandez. That was an absolute banger. I would love to talk about that fight to you in a minute. But yeah, so since you've been pretty active, do you think that gives you an edge over your opponent?
Um, I don't know if it gives me an edge, but I'm familiar with Singapore in that stage. I've been there many times now, so it feels like home to me. Um, I'm not underestimating Allycia in any way. Coming to this fight because she's a professional. I don't think it matters to her whether she fought 2 years ago or whether she fought a year ago. She's going to bring her best, so I'm expecting that.
And I'm sure you're going to bring your best as well. And
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
yeah. And the two of you were previously scheduled to fight in December, but the bout had to be cancelled after you contracted the coronavirus. I will talk about that in a minute. But here we are, March 24th. The fight is finally happening. So
Yeah.
have you done any tweaks to your training? Are you doing anything special to take on Allycia Rodrigues? How about that?
Um, Well, yeah, we know Alicia's strengths are, she's very good at counter kicking. She's very good at sort of the close range fighting with the clenching and the elbows. So we've definitely been preparing for that. So working more on the clenching as well as, my striking, and also figuring out ways to strengthen what I'm, good at, and making sure that I create the tactics to be able to exploit my strengths.
Um, Take me back. I want to talk to you about the coronavirus experience. If you can take me back to December last year and tell me what was going on in your mind. If you can walk me through the whole journey. How has it been since then after you contracted the virus?
Um, Luckily for me, it was just a little bit of congestion, so I was able to make a full recovery and uh, get back into training. So at the time, obviously, I was really devastated when I found out I had COVID. I almost couldn't believe I did, and cried a bit, especially since I flew out there, all the way out there, to not fight. But I knew, mentally I have to move forward. What's done's done, and I can't really focus on the past. So I changed my mindset and realize things happen for a reason. So I just have to be patient and keep moving forward, and that's exactly what I did.
I'm a victim of the coronavirus myself, and it has taken a toll on my body. It has left permanent damage in my body. So, I mean, so that makes me want to ask, has it affected your training in any way? Were you able to train at your 100%?
So actually, this was my second time getting
Oh,
COVID. So the first time I got it, it definitely took a toll on my body. It took me a couple months before my heart rate started getting back to normal. But the second time wasn't as, luckily, I'm very fortunate that it wasn't as severe, and I was able to get right back into it, without a problem. So I was very fortunate, but maybe it was because I had it bad the first time.
I'm sure the fans would want to see the best version of you. I would want to see the best version of you on March 24th.
Yeah, me too. That's what I've been working towards.
Um, I would also want to talk to you about your previous fight against Lara Fernandez. Leading up to the fight, you said that you are expecting a firefight. And that is exactly what we had to see. We got to see. It was an absolute banger. 5 rounds of war. Lara Fernandez kept taking all your shots and marching forward like a zombie. But in the final round, you rocked her. You rocked her pretty bad. And that was a very entertaining fight, to be honest. So, leading up to this fight, do you have any predictions for this fight, and how do you see yourself winning this fight?
We always want the knockout, but we can't look, we can't want it too bad where it affects us from being in the moment and being able to fight what's in front of us. So as much as I'd like to say I would like the knockout, that's not what I'm looking for. I just want to be able to go out there and do what I've been do the things that I've been doing in training,
Right.
and make having that accuracy with my shots and that timing, that proper timing to be able to land those shots exactly where I want them. Um, I think I just went off on a tangent, so I can't remember what the question was.
Yeah.
Um,
I was asking you
but
about do you have any
but
predictions for
Allycia,
this fight?
yeah, Allycia is another very very
Yeah.
tough girl. I've seen her fight um, Stamp, and Stamp's a strong girl
Yeah.
too, and she was able to take those shots, and she ended up really switching it around in the last the fourth and fifth round, really coming forward. So I expect another tough fight. And at this point, when you're at the top like this, you only get tough fights. There's no easy fights, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. And
So
especially,
I'm going in there with the mentality of, all right, this is going to be a tough fight. If I could get the knockout, great, but I'm going to expect to leave it all out there.
especially when you're Janet Todd, when you're a double champ, there are no easy fights. However, so in an interview, in a recent interview, Allycia Rodrigues was asked about this fight. She was asked about you, and she said that she's been pretty busy with her training camp. Um, she said that this postponement of this fight has been nothing but vigorous training for her. She was able to hone her skills in boxing. She's focusing a lot in boxing. She said that she's pretty confident already in her kicking and elbowing game. And she also made a very bold statement. She said that she is going to knock you out. And if I may quote, this is exactly what she said. Let me read this out. She said, I believe I'm going to knock her out. We will exchange some blows in the first and second round, but the intention is to press from the beginning in search for a knockout. Would you like to respond to that statement?
I mean, I expect that from all my opponents at this point, right? We all want that. So that's what we've been training for. And that's going to only be good for our sport when we all bring our best and be able to bring those barnyard burners, right? Increase the level of competition and really bring more light to women's martial arts. So, yeah, I'm excited.
And the fans are excited as well. That is one thing I want to ask you. I'm sure you've been asked, you've been asked this question enough number of times, but it never gets old. I want to talk to you about Stamp Fairtex. You fought Stamp Fairtex twice, two epic fights. The first time you fought her, it was in Muay Thai. It didn't go down your way, unfortunately. But the second time you fought her, you got the job done, and it was in kickboxing. Are we going to see a third fight?
I'm sure it's in the cards.
That's good news.
And she did say that she wanted to get back to Muay Thai and kickboxing, so we'll see what happens. And she's, you know, I have respect for her to be able to do all three sports. It's not an easy thing to
Yeah.
do, and I appreciate her for making me a better athlete through those two fights that we did have. It really, caused me to level up to be able to have those fights with her. So,
Do you have a choice? Would you want to fight in Muay Thai or kickboxing, or is there a priority of such?
um, I guess after this, I don't really have a priority. I think for the last, couple years, I've really been focused on Muay Thai and really wanting to to get this Muay Thai belt. But afterwards, it's up to the one championship team and who they think is a good matchup for me. I'll do either.
That's a good answer. And I also want to talk to you about Anissa Meksen versus Stan Fairtex. Anissa Meksen has been making some noise lately. She's been calling you out. She was scheduled to fight Stamp recently, but that fight fell apart after the famous no-show for the weigh-in drama. Anissa did not turn up for the weigh-ins, citing family emergency. There has been a pretty back and forth between her and Stamp with regards to that. What do you have to say about the no-show weigh-in drama? What are your thoughts?
um, I'm sure she had a reason, but I also understand Stamp's perspective of not wanting to go through that again with her. Um, I guess that's the only thing I really have to say
That's
about that.
fair enough. Fair
Um,
enough. Talking about the same, CEO Chatri said that if there is going to be an interim atomweight kickboxing bout, the title fight is going to be between Anissa Meksen and Stam Fairtex. He doesn't want any random fighters to compete for the interim belt. He wants Anissa Meksen and Stam Fairtex to compete for the belt. What are your thoughts on potentially having an interim title holder for your kickboxing belt?
I mean, I hope it's me that they get to fight. But I understand because I'm scheduled for a Muay Thai, title right now in the near future. That if they have to wait, it makes sense to have an interim. So if you're going to have an interim, it makes sense to have Anissa Meksen and Stamp. And man, kudos to Stamp, right? Even after that fight fell through, she fought somebody in a weight
That
class
was that
heavier,
was a beautiful fight. That
and
was a beautiful fight.
yeah, went 3 rounds with someone bigger and taller,
Won
and
that fight.
and won that
Split
fight.
decision.
So I thought, yeah, fighters
Fighters
fight.
fight.
So that's what she did.
And Anissa Meksen was in an interview. She was asked about you. I know you might have come across this. Um, she said that with Janet Todd, it has become personal now. So Janet, has it become personal with Anissa?
Uh, I guess it's not personal to me. um, I've always said in all my interviews, Anissa is definitely on my radar. Because I mean, obviously she's Anissa, so any none of this none of these competitions are personal things for me. It's more wanting to do these competitions so that I can level up and be better and bring the level of competition up together as women in the sport, because there's not that many of us. So I don't take anything really personally, because it again, it's a sport, and at the end of the day we're all in it together, and we all understand the sacrifice and the hard work that goes in. So I got nothing but respect for all my
You are a
opponents.
consummate professional when it comes to fighting. Um, I let's talk about two other main fights in the same card. A dream matchup, as many would call it. Uh, Superlek, the kicking machine, is taking on Rodtang, the Iron Man. Um, Two Muay Thai
Oh,
legends battling it out for the kickboxing title. What do you make of this fight? Share us your thoughts. Such an
oh
exciting fight, isn't
man.
it?
Yeah, I don't, man. Rodtang could take some
He's
punches
got a hell
too.
of a chin.
And Superlek has some nasty kicks and really good timing on those. Man, I don't know. I can't make a prediction, but I'm excited to be on that same card. They are both
I
legends
understand you.
for
I cannot make
sure.
a prediction either. It's hard to predict these things, especially when two legends, one of the best strikers out there battle it out. It's hard to predict these things. Um,
I know what makes one championship so great in like their matchups, right? That's
Agreed.
what you want to see.
And there is another fight, the main event, Arjan Singh Bhullar versus Anatoly Malykhin. Anatoly Malykhin has been looking pretty solid. He's undefeated in one championship. He's a double champ, just like you. He's also this is also a title unification bout. Um, he is the interim heavyweight title holder. He's also the light heavyweight champion. So Arjan Singh Bhullar was sidelined due to injuries, and now he's back. So it is going to be an exciting fight. Do you have any thoughts on this fight?
It's a
Yeah, it's an
difference of
MMA.
style, right? He's
Yeah,
the wrestler
right.
versus more of a striker. So that'll be interesting. They're both really nice
Wow.
guys. I've met them both before. Yeah, I'm I'm not as well versed in sort of like the ground wrestling stuff, so it'll be hard for me to make a prediction on what on on who comes out on top of that one. But both guys are very uh very tough.
I also want to ask you about how do you prepare yourself mentally for a fight? For instance, boxing legend Marvelous Marvin Hagler had once said that he likes to disconnect himself from his friends and family. He likes to stay away from all the entertainment, and that gets him battle ready. So, how do you prepare yourself leading up to a fight? What goes on in your mind, especially in a fight camp?
For me, mentally, is something that I have to work on every day. Don't do it right before fight, right? Um, but what I like to do is when I'm not training, I'd like to visualize sort of the techniques that I want or the timing that I'm working on, and kind of visualize that against sort of my opponent, um, just so that I can ingrain that technique or timing more so in my head, so that it can come out, um, not only in training but in the fight. Um, Other things that I I do, to help with my mentality is journaling, writing down my thoughts, and writing down affirmations in terms of what I believe myself to be, and doing that consistently.
So, when does it
And I know this kind of sounds hokey and stuff, but I do bring in meditation. There's so much going on every day for me that I like to take that time at the end of the day to kind of really focus on my breath, and help me bring myself back to the moment, back to now, and not think about, oh my god, what do I got to do for work tomorrow, or geez, I made that stupid mistake in sparring today. Like, try to get that all out of my head and just really focus on my breath, and that helps me relax and sometimes gets me better
Bennett,
sleep.
I just have two more questions for you, real quick. Um, you've been you've been on a win streak. You are 7-1 in one championship. The road to your title fights have never been easy. You've had to take on absolute killers, right? You've given us epic fights. Who would you say was your toughest opponent? Which would you say was the hardest obstacle you had to cross in one championship?
um I'd say the hardest one was probably the first fight with Stamp, because of my mentality. I didn't feel like I belonged there, um, until I was actually in there. And in the fifth round, when I started just letting myself go, that I realized, hey, I can actually do this. What why am I thinking so little of myself? And I think that helped me kind of realize my confidence and bring that more and more into every fight.
Before we wrap this up, I want to ask you one last question. Um, Stepping into this fight, do you have a piece of message to give out to your fans who will be tuning in to watch you fight on March 24th?
Yeah, of course. I always want to be thankful for, I'm always thankful for everybody that's supported me, not just for this fight, but throughout the years. You guys give me encouragement to always work harder in the gym so that I can bring my best, for the fight, so that you guys can enjoy what enjoy the fight. So, again, thank you so much for always supporting me, and yeah, I'm looking forward to showing you what I've been working on for the last
The
couple
fans are
months.
excited. I'm excited. I will definitely be tuning into the fight. Um, Janet, you are one of the most disciplined, one of the most dedicated athletes I've ever seen. I wish you all the best for your fight, and I look forward to talking to you again probably after the fight. And thank you so much for coming in and talking to us. I would love to talk to you once again. Thank you so much. It's been an honor to talk to an absolute legend.
Yeah. Oh, not a legend compared to some of the other killers in one championship, but thank
Thank
you.
you so
Thank you for
much.
having me.